is our campsite at the Lazy Days KOA in Tucson, Arizona. This is actually our second time here. The first time we stayed in one of the open campsites and it was good, but having one of these covered places is great. The site is large and the cover is made up of solar panels that power the campground. Nice. This guy seemed to like it too. Oh, please don't poop in our fan. This is the setup that I'm trying out now as a wind muff for this camera. For my little Sony action cam, it just is always so windy, as you know if you've seen previous videos. And I saw this on YouTube one day. Somebody had bought this lens protector. This is an addition to the camera. Then just took a hair tie, strapped it around it with a little piece of microfiber over the microphones, which are right here. And so we're going to try it out and see what happens. This is test footage for straight on wind to check my new wind filter system. This is the Saguaro National Park. This is the west side visitor center. There are two different visitor centers and essentially two different parks that are part of Saguaro National Park. It is a gorgeous day here and we're kind of roaming through the cactus garden at the moment. We've just been into the visitor center. They have a nice introductory film. The end that's worth seeing just to see the end of the film. Won't give that away. Lots of varieties of cactus. I didn't know there were that many. That's an interesting one.
That's your chain fruit.
This is the chain fruit one?
Mm-hmm.
The saguaro, they say, has a fruit too, but I'd like to know what that tastes like. Wondering how these cacti can be so tall and have long arms and not bend or break. The visitor center has this display to show that the inside of the cacti develop a wood center, so they're more like a tree. That's why you see so many bird holes, as they make a great place to live. I asked a park ranger about the cacti that I've been seeing that turn black, and asked if that was just a lifespan thing or what, and they said yes, the saguaros have a lifespan of about 150 years, and eventually they just age off and die, or they get a frost or cold weather. It can make them turn black. See, a bird has made a home there. The Bajada Loop Drive is what we are going to do next. We've stopped at the nature trail. See some prickly pear cactus over here. A cute little guy. When he moves, his tail moves like a scorpion. I'm zoomed in as much as I can. If I get much closer, he's gonna run. We've arrived at Signal Hill Trail, where we were told we could see petroglyphs. Definitely not wheelchair friendly. Lots of up and down steps. Okay, not something I like to see, but the park rangers have said, I mean, it's November 1st. Supposedly they're kind of taking a winter break. Let's hope so. Human occupation of this area began in 10,000 BC with the Paleo Indians. The petroglyphs were created later by the Huachuca people in the span of around 200 to 1450 AD. What do the symbols mean? Communication, symbols of fertility, boundary markers, or simply decoration? No one knows for sure. I thought there would be more. As I'm coming down from the petroglyphs, I'm on the back side of the rocks. There's actually a lot on this side. You zoom in. Somehow I missed this when I walked by it earlier. Just didn't know to look up. It's incredible how this rock art is still visible after all these centuries. I recommend visiting the West Park if you're out this direction, and especially if you're limited on time. I understand the East Park has a lot more hiking and the museum is a must-see, so we may try that if we get out here again. Welcome to Tombstone. This area was quite metropolitan in its day and served as home to the Earp brothers for a while. We purchased tickets for a trolley tour online, more about that at the end of this video, and it was a good introduction to the area.
They moved down because Tombstone and the whole area around here was about mining for silver. So this is where Doc Holliday and Big Nose Skate's apartment was while they were in Tombstone.
I don't even know what this is called. It's like their theme park. And we're on our way to go see a reenactment of the gunfight. Yeah, it's touristy and it's campy and it's corny, but what the heck? You gotta do it.
Actually, the original gunfight was the gunfight at Fremont Street. The newspapers made it the gunfight at the OK Corral to sell more papers.
All right, well, we tried to see the 1 o'clock show, but apparently they have to have a minimum of 10 people, and there weren't enough, so we're going to come back for the 3 o'clock. We're here kind of on the off season, which is on the one hand good because it's not crowded, and on the other hand it's bad because it's not crowded because everything shuts down and it's just not as lively and active as it would be.
Oh well, we'll find something to do.
Hi.
Please come together! Yeehaw! Playing the phones.
Ah.
Yes, mankind's very first rhythm instrument and a big part of American music in the 1800s.
Okay.
The phone castanets. Cowboys and fist fights, hot
The Oriental Saloon.
cowboys dying inside the Oriental Saloon, folks. Come on in for a prickly pear margarita, stick around for a killing. Looks like this guy's been waiting a while. As it turns out, I can't show you the show because of copyright laws.
We do work for tips, so if you enjoyed the show, please tip generously. If you did not enjoy the show, maybe throw your whole wallet in there and I can afford to hire a better actor. All right, remember, folks, if it wasn't for all of you, none of this would have been necessary. Come on up for pictures if you like. I hope you have a great day. Enjoy Tombstone, and adios.
I'm in the Boothill Grave Yard. Not a bad view. See who's here. This is the entrance to the graveyard, the little shack. You go through there and you pay your $3 per person. And you go out and visit all the graves. They give you a list of who's buried where and their stories. And then that's the exit. You come out the gift shop, of course. Here's the booklet that they give you when you go in. And it's all marked in rows. And it tells you about everyone, all the graves in there. A lot of them are just unknowns. And the strange thing about going in here is that it's, I mean, if you've just come from Tombstone or the town and you've done all the touristy things, it makes the graveyard seem so comical and insignificant. So that makes me kind of sad. Even the kids that were in there just didn't seem to take it too seriously, you know, and I guess I shouldn't expect that, but it does give you the stories of how the people died, and sometimes it's kind of sad. People who were killed accidentally or, you know, died during childbirth, that kind of thing. So, I don't know. You have to decide for yourself.
Well, today we went to Tombstone, Arizona, the famous Tombstone.
The experience, I don't know, it was too touristy. It was
almost like they play Tombstone to be a parody of itself.
Yeah.
There were many touristy attractions, touristy shows. The most authentic part that we saw was the trolley tour, which just pointed out historical homes, and the tour to Boothill Cemetery, where they have real grave sites of real people. Mm-hmm. The rest of it were, to me, it seemed like they'd taken historical places and converted them to restaurants, souvenir shops, that sort of thing. Some of the buildings could have been kept, I think, in a little bit more historic situation.
Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed there wasn't an actual authentic historical tour of some kind. I mean, on the bus tour or the trolley tour, we drove by. Okay, that's where Wyatt Earp lived. Okay, that's where Virgil lived. And these things are now, you know, shops. I guess you can...
Private residences.
Or private residence, which, you know, I kind of would like to have taken a little more time to look at those. We bought tickets online for this because it does save you a little bit of money, or it did for us. And I'd recommend if you go to look online first, it's actually called like an amusement park or something like that. And you can, our ticket included the trolley tour, the gunfight, which I thought was going to be more of it, like a reenactment of the gunfight at the OK Corral, and that's not what it was at all. It was corny. I mean, it was kind of funny and campy and all that stuff, but
sort of melodramatic and encouraged a lot of audience participation, but once again, touristy, not historical.
And it's like 40 minutes long. I was disappointed in that. And we did walk along some of the shops along the main street there, and the streets are blocked off to traffic. They were getting ready to have some kind of a show, gunfight thing at the Oriental Theater, and we didn't go to that. And don't know how much that cost. It probably would have been just as corny as the one that we saw.
Oh, based on the shill on the street, it certainly sounded like it.
Yeah, so. It did. So I don't know. It's something, I guess, it's nice to do. My recommendation would be, if you want to see any of this stuff, to buy tickets, go online first, check it out, see what works best for you and your group or whoever you're bringing. But I would recommend doing some research first on what you want to see, houses and stuff. Everything's pretty much within walking distance. So if you want to see where the Earps houses were, figure that out and just walk there and go see them. Go to the courthouse, walk the streets of the town. That is, you know, pretty cool. On our way, the trolley tour included a trip up to Boothill Cemetery, but you don't go in the cemetery because of course there's a separate charge for that. You just kind of drive by it, you know, here it is. And but on our way out of town, we did stop there. And I went in. I thought, well, I have to do this because this is like the only real thing there.
But as I said in my earlier clip of being at the cemetery, it even seemed commercial, even though it's not. I guess it's still worth a trip though to go to the cemetery.
The history of Tombstone itself, it was a boom town. It was based on silver mining, and it was at one time the largest town between St. Louis and San Francisco. And so it has a lot of history, and it has a lot of shady history, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this is not a town that you can just write off as being too touristy, because there's a lot of stuff to see. A lot of the main street is somewhat preserved, although the buildings have been repurposed. There are a lot of good things to see. It's just that it's perhaps presented in a way that's not good for historical nerds.
Yeah, if you really want authentic history, you're going to have to create your own tour and go see what you want on your own. Because from what we could tell on our visit, and again, I say this is very much the off season, because there was basically nobody there. Maybe there's more during the busy season. We did ask when is the busiest time, and they said that the week between Christmas and New Year's, it is standing room only. It's packed. So just FYI. So it was nice to not have a crowd, but on the other hand, with no crowds, nobody opens. So you got to choose which one you want.
Yeah, in fact, the first performance of the gunfight melodrama was canceled because there weren't enough audience members.
Mm-hmm. So,
would I do it again? If you're going as a tourist, the answer is yes. If you're going as a historical buff, I would say do some research. The trolley tour will give you an overview of the city, and then you can walk it and do things at your own leisure.
Mm-hmm. Good summary.
Okay. And we're using the camera with our new wind muffler, which was designed, and that's a Prada style wind muffler.
Yeah, it's real fancy. It's microfiber cloth over the microphone to help to act as a dead cat. It's a dead microfiber is what it is, but hey, it's working. So.
And we're using a hair scrunchie to hold it in place. So, this is high tech. High tech indeed.
Whatever works.
Photo bombing.
Photo bomber.
Did you enjoy this video? Then give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click that bell icon so you'll get notification on new video postings. Or check out our website, remotelyretired.com, where we list all of our videos. Thanks for watching.